All right. Uh, Welcome to my talk with the longest title. So first of all, before I start, if there's any network problems, feel free to stop me. Um, and I trust that Lars can facilitate the process. Okay. So there's a fun activity that I like to start. Well, Lars, can you mute the mic? I can hear myself from my end. Okay, cool. So first of all, I would love all of you to pull out a pen and a paper if you have with you. If you really don't have anything, you can write it on your phone, but only if you feel comfortable giving your phone to someone else. All right. Let me know when you have your stuff ready. So I would like you to write down someone's name who in the Scala community or in the programming community that you look up to. And meanwhile, Lars will play a 30 seconds video for you just to do a countdown. Okay, are we all ready? All right, let's move on. So many speakers will introduce themselves and their experience before the talk. So I thought that I should do the same. I'm Yifan. I'm non-technical. I don't really know much about Scala, and I'm not sure why you guys are so obsessed talking about it either. I don't really know what FP means or OOP. I don't understand what pure means either. I'm really bad at math, and I'm not interested in science or technology at all. I can walk on the street and be offered a job because I'm a woman. And now my question for you is, how long did it take you to figure out that I'm joking? So I hope it didn't take you too long, but if it did, I would like to introduce you in a word called implicit bias. From the time that we're young, we acquire those culturally based mental models for objects and systems and other people in our world. So they're basically shortcuts for us to filter the massive amount of information that we intake every day. However, those mental models sometimes can lead us to misperceptions and misunderstandings and result in unconscious bias. And there's another word that you should know called micro inequities. They're often caused by implicit bias. They're subtle and accumulative messages that can devalue and discourage performance at work. So the messages don't have to be verbal. They can be looks and gestures, tone of voice, and other, verbal and nonverbal signs. So they always accumulate in a way that leads people to underperform and alternatively leave the workplace. So if you weren't very convinced that you had implicit bias by the previous exercise, now I would like you to exchange the paper that you just had with the person sitting next to you. If you don't have someone sitting next to you, you can do front row and back row. And it's a great time to make some friends. Let me know, Lars, can you please make sure everyone has a partner that they switch paper with? Cool. So if the paper does not have my name on it, please stand up and leave the room. Okay, just kidding. Raise your hand if the paper had someone's name who identify as a male. No one? Wait, didn't hear. Oh, okay. The first one or the second one? Okay. If the paper, you don't have to mute now. I don't hear myself anymore. Okay, cool. So raise your hand, or actually, if the paper does not have my name on it, stand up and leave the room. Okay, just kidding. So if raise your hand if the paper has someone's name that identify as a male. Cool. Raise your hand if the person on the paper do not identify as a male. Okay, I see one person. So I think it's two. Oh, two. Wow, progress. Okay. Did someone say something? Or aw, okay. Is that me? Okay. I knew it's okay. Okay, so I think it's pretty clear that the ratio difference is huge, right? And I hope that this convinced you that implicit bias do exist, and it's okay. It's not shameful that we have them, um, but we need to be aware of them so that we can reduce the impact of micro inequities and microaggressions. And you might ask, this didn't happen to me, so why should I care? Well, from this research paper, actually, white male doing diversity work could actually help your career. And let's dig into the research paper and take a look. So, this research paper is called Does Diversity Valuing Behavior Result in Diminished Performance Ratings for Non White and Female Leaders? So basically, people spend 1 year doing this research with 362 executives in the US. They asked them to attend a week-long program, and the managers would rate them before and after the program. And I've linked the paper's link into the slides. I'll post my slides on Twitter afterwards. If you're interested, feel free to read it up. So the research result shows that when minority group members align themselves with their own minority groups by engaging in diversity valuing behaviors, such as hiring and promoting, that could be seen as nepotistic or socially competitive. So as individuals, we have this belief that there's zero-sum competition, which means competition between different demographic groups, such that we believe if one demographic group gains status, our own demographic group loses status. But however, from the other side, if the majority group members align themselves with minority groups, that is perceived differently. That is perceived as highly interpersonally warm behavior, as because the behavior shows a type of compassion towards different members. So if you are from the majority demographic group, and if you engage in diversity valuing behaviors, you might receive a better performance rating from your manager. It's actually really good for your career. This graph just shows the research that, as you can see, the line that's pointing up, the solid line, is for male leaders. When male leaders engage in high diversity valuing behaviors, they receive a higher performance rating, but it actually hurts minorities by engaging in diversity valuing behaviors. So the female leaders' performance rating goes down when they engage more in diversity. So not only engaging in diversity helps individual performance, it also helps a team to build better products. People with different backgrounds have different experiences and therefore different ways of looking at this world. So they can provide more divergent ideas to allow you to create more innovative and well-rounded solution for complex problems. So I will give you another example. In 1950s, when early car airbags were deployed, there were an unexpected tragic consequence. The airbags unintended killed a lot of women and children. So does anyone know what caused that? Why that happened? And Lars, if someone raised their hand, please let them answer. Pass the mic. I couldn't hear. Can you repeat that? Yes, you're right. Oh, so smart. Okay. So the team that was developing the airbag was all male. So when they designed it, they used the height and weight charts from the standard male. So they did not factor women and children's weight and height. So if they had a diverse team, this wouldn't have been a problem. So now we've learned why you should care. Let's take a look at how we're doing in the current industry. So I looked up this paper called the Athena Factor. It's a very well-known research project that examines the career path of women in science, technology, and engineering. The research groups spent 2 years with 28 focus groups in major cities around the world, with 34 companies participated. So one of the most well-known charts in the research is this one. In 2015, women made up 25% of computing-related occupations, and that is very unbalanced. Was it always like this? Actually, no. We were doing the best in 1991, but everything has been going down afterwards. So in 1991, we had 36% of women having computing occupations. But as you can see, the yellow line has been pointing down after that. What about the other fields? Were they all like this? So again, the yellow line is the tech field. As you can see, the biology, engineering, mathematics, and physics, they have been all slowly going up after 1970s, except the tech industry. So after 1991, we had this huge drop, and then it has been going down. So where did women go? According to the research, 51% of women in tech leave the tech industry. Among those 51%, 24% of that take a non-tech job in a different company, while 7% take a non-tech job at the same company, and then 20% just leaves the workforce entirely. So not only we have problem finding women in tech, but we also have problem keeping them. So retention is a problem. And now, how can you help? We've looked at the problems and what should we take away as a community? How can we build an inclusive environment for minorities? Well, as community participants and conference attendees, the first thing that you need to do is to follow the code of conduct, regardless of whether you're in the community or at conferences. It's not just a paragraph of words that tell you what to do. It's a way to protect you and others in the community, and is very effective for building a safe environment for you and for everyone. When you're engaging conversations or interacting with minorities in tech, you need to assume technical competency, which means that you need to treat them as professional peers and assume that they are as capable as you are. And then you need to educate yourself to recognize certain behaviors, such as microaggressions and micro inequities. Be aware of them and be able to distinguish appropriate and inappropriate behaviors. I've linked this blog post that's co-authored by Eugene and I. It's called Making Conference a Safer Space, and I encourage you to read it. And again, link is in the slide. So I read this on Twitter a few days ago and thought to share this with everyone. Mozilla has started an event that provides a safe space for men to ask questions. So basically, if you identify as a male, and if you're interested in contributing to diversity in open source communities, but you're not sure what to do or worried about doing something wrong, then I encourage you to register in this event. They provide a safe space for you to ask questions and get feedbacks and advice on how you can contribute the right way. The link is there. I encourage people to sign up. And again, we'll post the slides afterwards, so you don't have to write it down. So what about organizers? So for conference organizers and community leaders, first of all, you need to really spend time on building a clear code of conduct. You need to clearly communicate the policy at the beginning of the conference and before the social hour. You need to develop a reporting mechanism to handle, for example, harassment reports. And please make sure to include minorities on the committee that accepts the reports. So I want to mention tokenism at conferences and meetups. So tokenism means that you're making a symbolic effort to be inclusive to members of minority groups for the purpose of preventing criticism. So for example, if you invite a speaker who happens to be a woman to give a talk because she is a woman, then that's tokenism. I am an organizer myself. I understand that people want a diverse representation of speakers, but we should also really focus or really care about how we're doing it. To a certain extent, doing it wrong is actually worse than not doing anything. So I've seen the best way of fixing the problem, or at least having a diverse representation of speakers. The best way to do it is to invite them, is to put a lot of effort during call for paper phase. So invite them to apply for a call for paper, and then treat their call for papers equally. Trust that the minority can do as good of a job as the majority. And another thing that you can do is to plant the seed, which means you don't just start looking when you have your conference, but throughout the year, you put into effort into encouraging people to become speakers. So I've seen this event organized by a few folks in Philly, Scala group. They had a panel that provides resources to encourage people to become first-time speakers. And I thought this type of event is really encouraging. So meetups don't have to be lecture style, right? Like I talk, you listen. It can be ideas like this. You can have your meetups to get together and have mentorships and have people that encourages more speakers to join the community. So I encourage meetup organizers and conference organizers to provide resources that help people who are not as experienced speakers. And now I want to talk to you about ScalaBridge. ScalaBridge is a community-based nonprofit organization that helps students from underrepresented groups in tech to learn Scala. ScalaBridge provides free workshops for students, and it's usually organized in the format of one-day workshops where students will go through the creative Scala tutorial, and mentors will walk around and answer questions. ScalaBridge is an excellent way to bring diversity into the Scala community. So how can you contribute? If you're interested, you should first check if there's already a ScalaBridge organized in your city. If it is, then I encourage you to talk with the current organizer to ask if they need any help around organizing or around mentorship to provide, you can be a mentor at workshops to basically answer Scala questions. If there's no ScalaBridge in your city already, I encourage you to become an organizer. So you just need 3 components to be an organizer. It's really simple. So you need sponsor who provides space and food, you need mentors, and you need students. I want to walk you through this this repository that I created that documents everything about what you need for running a ScalaBridge workshop. So basically, I split them into 7 steps. This is also online. I will give the link so that everyone can read it. So it provides 7 steps according to when exactly you need to do those steps. And there are 2 resources that I want to share with everyone. This one, invite mentors. A lot of people ask, okay, I see it. A lot of people asked that, how should I invite mentors? What if I don't know anyone in my city? Well, so we have this invite mentors page for you, which this has a list of mentors list. So as you can see, those are people from different cities from all over the world indicated their interest for being a ScalaBridge mentor. And if you want to organize a ScalaBridge in your city, all you need to do is to go on this site and then find them, contact them here. I'll also encourage you to put your information on here so that other people can also reach out to you. And same thing for sponsors. We have another website or doc for sponsors. I encourage you, again, to put your name here or come here and look for the resources. Okay, let's go back to the slides. So other ways that you can contribute would be contribute to our GitHub. We have a GitHub organization that needs help with websites and improving, for example, our tooling and documentation. I would love some contribution, and just send an email to ScalaBridge or to me. There's other ways to participate. It's to join the Slack. And again, the link is here. I'll send it out. So we have, the Slack has people from all over the world who get together as students, mentors, and sponsors and organizers. They're there to help you. Also follow ScalaBridge on Twitter. They provide the most updated information on workshops. If you have any more questions, please shoot an email to scalabridge@gmail.com. So I'm really proud to say that we have more than 15 cities that had ScalaBridge in the past years. While our community has a really excellent momentum right now, we need to grow it more. And we welcome your contribution and participation. And now I have a video for you that's created by Typelevel about ScalaBridge. Lars, can you show the video from your side? Don't show it from the beginning, from the middle. Do you know where to start? Okay, cool. I'm taking 5 more minutes because you took so long.
Before in a different language.
Okay. Do you need the link? Okay. Play it from 2 minutes. 2.6.
Understanding of functional programming and Scala fundamentals. There are 2 parts to ScalaBridge. The install fest took place last night, so today is workshop day. So we actually broke up the workshop into 2 different groups. So one group being you have absolutely 0 coding programming experience. That would be someone like myself. That was one group, and then there was a second group for people who maybe have coded before in a different language. So JavaScript, Ruby, Java, they are different, but it's easier for them to pick up on the fundamentals of Scala, so they start at a more advanced level. Now let's take a minute and meet some of the attendees.
So I'm Devin. I'm a junior at NYU.
My name is Steven. I'm a software engineer.
I'm Hannah Quidera. I'm currently a software engineer.
Hi, my name is Alicia McCara. I'm attending ScalaBridge at Tapad in New York City. I attended ScalaBridge because my company uses Scala. I'm trying to wiggle my way into programming more at my company. Scala is definitely something that I need to learn.
We have a couple of services built in Scala. I'm hoping to learn more about the foundations. Yes, I can look at the source code of our services right now, but it's a little intimidating to just pick it up without knowing the foundations of Scala, so that's what I'm hoping to get out of this.
I'm working in Scala this summer at my internship. I couldn't find any experience at school for functional programming. It's only available to graduate students, so this was a great opportunity to meet people, learn, and get prepared for the summer.
I am a Latino. I'm not usually represented in tech. Just wanted to come and support and learn new skills.
This was really valuable for me just because I didn't really know how I was going to learn it. It's a lot better to learn in a setting where someone's kind of giving you some instructions. It's nice to kind of do the practice with other people.
Scala is not as foreign as I thought it was. It definitely has similar parallels to other languages that I coded in, so I'm not as scared to move forward with it.
Today what I enjoyed most was just being around like-minded individuals who want to improve themselves.
It's really fun to get to meet people that are professional, that are also in the same learning point as me.
Being able to plug away at doing some code by myself, because that's how I learn, but also having people around that knew what was going on to help me when something didn't compile or something gave me something unexpected.
Okay, going back to the slides. A few days ago, again, I read it on Twitter. That's where I get all of my information. So one of our, so Noel and Anna, I don't know if they're in the audience, but they are from London and they organized a 12-week. I'm taking 5 more minutes because the video took so long. Okay, so, so, and okay, so Noel and Anna organized a 12-week long ScalaBridge workshop because they thought that the 12-week workshop will introduce more Scala to our students. So instead of meeting one day, they for one day of workshop, they met 6 times, so bi-weekly for 12 weeks. I think folks who organized the 12-week long London workshop deserve some claps here. So one of the students who recently graduated from the program received an internship from Twitter. And I think I don't need to emphasize what kind of positive impact you can have on our community and on the individuals in the community by organizing ScalaBridge. So please join ScalaBridge and contribute to diversity in the tech community. And now that we have learned multiple ways to contribute, I would like everyone to take a moment to reflect. And I have another fun exercise for you. So if you could pull up your phone, and yes, you can use the internet. If you could search Slido and join the event by typing Typelevel, let me know when you're there. Okay, I'm gonna display the poll. So, oh, oops, that was me. I typed that. I should have cleaned that up. So what is one thing that you can do to help build an inclusive tech community? Mentor. Offer being a mentor. Nice. Make diverse hires. Help organize workshops around Lausanne. Talk to people. Help people become speakers. Start a ScalaBridge. Wait, Lars, can you write down the person whose name who said start a ScalaBridge? I'm going to reach out to that person. Be inclusive. Oh, wow. I already organized the ScalaBridge at Typepad. Woo. Thank you for organizing it. Be nice. Okay, yeah, definitely. Friendly, inclusive, participate. Continue to realize when I misjudge people's talent or their personality due to race or gender and acknowledge it so others will know how to do that too. Yeah, I think this one is really important. We need to be aware of our behaviors and not to be afraid of admitting if we make a mistake. Help everyone who struggles. Shape my open source project so that it's accessible to beginners to contribute. Reflect your biases. I agree. Meet up. Nice. We had some really good ideas here. I will, again, post this online so that you can all have something to take away from you, take away with you from this talk. Okay. And let's go back to the slides. So when I was writing this talk, a lot of my really good friends asked me to rethink about it because to directly quote a friend, you don't really want to be the only female speaker giving the non-technical talk. And I agree. So I had this stereotype threat. I don't know if you're familiar with this word, but it means that I was afraid of doing something that conforms the stereotype of a social group that I belong to. In my case, a woman in tech. So I kept thinking, well, will I be seen as a software engineer if I give this talk? Well, I've thought about this over and over again, but after all, I decided to give this talk. If you don't think that I'm technical, that's okay. But I hope that you have learned why and how you should contribute to diversity in our community. And I hope that you find your own unique way to contribute. I'm very aware that diversity is a sensitive topic right now in the tech field, but because it's sensitive, we need to talk more about it so that we can raise awareness and make improvements and avoid mistakes too. I'm Yifan. I'm a software engineer who uses Scala. I'm not great at math, but I'm extremely interested in technology and science. I definitely was not offered a job because I'm a woman. I went through a very rigorous interview process, and I felt like my brain was damaged at the end. I think it was damaged. But at the end, I got the job, not because I'm a woman, because I'm a good engineer. So thank you. I really appreciate your time. I can't do the mic drop in front of you, but I can take questions.